Hi everyone, my name is Stefan. If we haven't had the pleasure to meet, I'm a 24-year-old South African entrepreneur. On my channel, I speak about investing, entrepreneurship, business, money, and so on. In this specific video, I want to speak about what you can do in a recession. Well, what I'm going to do in this recession that we are facing here in South Africa. If you are in a different part of the world, maybe you are American, welcome on my videos, I really appreciate it. Or maybe somewhere in Europe, again, welcome. Wherever you are, I'm so glad that I can have you on this video, and I hope that I'm not wasting your time. If these topics that I just mentioned is something that you're interested in, please consider subscribing. That will really help me. Or just smashing that like button. Some YouTubers say it helps with the algorithm. I don't know yet, but it doesn't hurt to try it. So let's jump into this video. So these are the tips that I'm following for what to do in a recession, and maybe it can help you as well. So I'm just going to list the table of content roughly here somewhere, and then we can jump into it. So there's, of course, then there's 4 points like you saw. So the first one is get a budget. Okay, so this is probably the one that most millennials or generation Z or X doesn't want to hear at all. Is they don't want to hear that they have to have a budget. So there's a budget going to tell them they shouldn't spend their money or whatever the case might be. I also actually didn't like a budget at all. I was always against a budget. Some of my friends would say, no, we should go out, we should do things, we should go party or go watch a movie or have dinner and stuff like that, or get Starbucks every week. And I did for most of my 20s. In the beginning of my 20s, I'm of course only 24, but so you would just go out and spend money, and after a month or 2 or 3 you'd see, you know what, I spend like 300 rand on coffee for the month, or 500 rand on just going out and doing nothing that's of value actually. So I'm not saying don't spend time with your friends, but there should be a budget involved. And if you don't know where to get a cool budget, definitely in South Africa, I would suggest you check out 22/7. It is a software app from Old Mutual. I'll link it in the description below as well. It's a very cool app. They didn't pay me to say it at all, but I think I'm using it personally, and I think it might help you as well. It's free on the App Store and of course on Google Play Store as well, so you can check that out on that. So the first thing, like I said, you should get a budget. And the budget should really be strict that you need to form. And that's the one thing that I like on 22/7. It gives you a quick outline of what you are doing with your money and a budget. And I actually wrote a quote here about what a budget is for me personally. So I want to read that to you. I said here, a budget is a system to let you know when to stop spending money on dumb things. That for me personally, that is what a budget is. So if I have an overview of what I'm spending, so let's say I have an overview of what I'm spending on fuel, on entertainment, on food, and so on, I can see where I'm placing my money. And that is actually what a budget should do. A budget shouldn't control your life, because at the end of the day, you are still going to apply the budget, the rules of the budget or not. That's a simple fact. So the budget should actually be an overview of how to view your money. And as I'm saying this, I'm thinking about a series I think Santam did quite a while back called the 1 Rand Band. And I'll try to link that as well if you can go check that out. I think it was a 4 or 3 part series they did on YouTube, which was quite phenomenal, because the guy got paid in 1 Rand. I'm not going to spoil the story too much, but the guy got paid in 1 Rands. And he stacked the 1 Rands in, plastic tins or whatever, plastics. Okay? And as he stacked it, he could see what he spent every month. So he saw, oh, this is my DSTV. Oh, this is my rent. Oh, this is my car. And so on. So he could physically see what he spent his money on. And it was shocking. He even said to himself, it's shocking how much money I'm spending on these things. I can cut it back even half. So to save money. So that's the first thing I would suggest, is to get a budget, and get a budget quickly. If you don't know, like I said, if you don't know where to get a budget, 22/7, go check it out. I really think it's a cool app. But also there's so many templates you can use on Google Sheets or just Microsoft Excel as well. So the second thing that we are going to focus on is to be disciplined. So this is quite one of the things I think is it's problematic when you have a budget, because a budget, let me just get you to my notes because I really don't want to mess anything up. So let me explain it this way. I don't know if you're a sport fan. I'm a big rugby fan. I actually have a different YouTube channel with two good friends of mine that we talk about rugby. So I'm quite a sport fanatic. But I said here, the budget is the rules. The budget is the rules, but the discipline is the game. So that's something that you can think about. So I have the rules, and if let's say I play rugby, or I play soccer, or football, or baseball, or basketball, whatever the game might be, there are rules in a game. And I essentially choose to obey the rules or break the rules. If I obey the rules, I can have a good game. I can play a phenomenal game for that matter. But if I decide to break the rules, there will be consequences. That exactly is exactly the same for me when it comes to a budget. The budget is the rules, but the discipline is the game. You have to be disciplined to play your rules. And if you don't play your rules, there will be consequences. That's like the only thing I can say about this. And it's really, you need to have that mindset of I'm going to be disciplined in my budget, because I essentially made the rules for myself. It should be something to keep you from buying every week Starbucks or going out every week. I'm literally like speaking about myself here, not to go and buy McDonald's and KFC and stuff like that. To stay into my rules that I placed for myself, to be disciplined. That's the second thing. The third thing I want to mention is actually to build up savings or cash, like a cash account. So this is this is a point that not all will like to do, actually, is because it's gonna keep them going back to the budget all the time. But if you have a steady job, okay, or if you are an entrepreneur and you are building up your business and you're hustling and you're grinding to build up a awesome business for yourself, either way, if you are getting in income every month, you should put some aside to a savings account or like a rainy day fund. That is what most people actually call it, like a rainy day fund. And you should build up cash. The reason for this is in your budget, and this is what I'm doing personally as well. So I'm just explaining this from my point of view. If you disagree, please comment below. Maybe you can have a chat about it. I love to talk to people who doesn't exactly agree with me, or maybe you can point out something that I can learn from. So the thing is with the rainy day account, if you can build up an account which can have 6 months worth of expenses in that account. So let's say your expenses is $2,000 a month, or 10 or 20,000 rand here in South Africa a month, or whatever the case might be, times 6. If that's your expenses, times 6. That is the amount that you want to get saved up. If you have that amount, that means all the financial stress that you have, the stress that you have for student loans or car loans or whatever the case might be, will actually become less and less, and you will become stress-free. Because if you have a 6-month rainy day account and something happens to your job and you don't have a job anymore, or to your income and you don't have income anymore, or you want to change jobs because you are in one that you actually don't like, you can do it because you have 6 months worth of savings for your expenses. So if you change your job and you are not satisfied yet, you still have a couple of months to get yourself going again. And that's why building up cash is one of the best things that you can do. There is a separate part to building up cash, and I'm going to be quite frank with you in this video as well. In this pandemic that we are facing right now, and the world is changing, and the economic systems are changing, and the stock markets are changing, and so on, you should be on a state of mind to look at assets where you can invest in, so that your money don't get too much devalued over time. So what do I mean about that? If you keep money in your bank account, you will lose roughly 6 to 10% against inflation. Your money is devaluing every year, and that is something that you need to look to as well. There will be separate videos about this topic. I'm very passionate about actually keeping your money's worth in different assets. That's why some people invest in gold or silver. That is something that is working or hedging against inflation. You'll hear a lot of stockbrokers and investment gurus telling you invest in gold, invest in silver, hedge against the currency, the US or the rand or so on, and they actually have a point there. But the thing is, you need to build up cash, and the quickest way is literally to put your savings aside to an account. So that's the third thing that I would suggest, and maybe you can put that then in silver, gold, or whatever the case might be. And then the fourth thing, of course, is the investment part of it. So this isn't just hedging against your rands or your dollars or your euros or whatever you have, but literally investing so that you can gain a passive income. So let's use Warren Buffett for an example. He started buying stock literally when he was 9, 10, 11, 12. He has a very interesting story, and there's a couple of documentaries on YouTube which you can go view right now if you want to, which he explained he started buying shares and stock at a young age, and he built it up and up and up till he had so much of the shares of those companies it paid dividends every month, or every quarter or every term. It depends which stock you have. And that is what he did to build up passive income. So that is something that you can then look to, and if you build up, or if you use the first 3 steps correctly, then you have much time. You have so much time to go and focus upon which stock to buy, which share to buy here in South Africa and America. Maybe you want to go into cryptocurrencies. If that is not something that you're interested in, then focus just on the stock market, index funds, ETFs, whatever the case might be. And then you can start building up a portfolio that will actually, your assets, pay you back while you're holding them. And that is mostly shares, dividend paying shares, and then of course real estate. That is the most common things that will pay you back while you are holding the asset. So these are the 4 things that I am doing at the moment in this recession and in this global pandemic, because the things are changing. And I hope these tips can really help you with your financial state of mind, where you are right now in your life. If there is a question that you have, please comment in the comment section below. I would love to get to that, and I just love speaking about this. And I'm not just speaking about something that I'm not trying to pursue and doing actively. These are actually the steps that I am following. I really hope this added value and that I didn't waste your time. That is not what I'm trying to do. And if anything in this video actually helped you and you want to share it with friends, that will be much, much appreciated. Thank you so much, and then I'll see you in the next one. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Ah, it's cold. Okay. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube videos. My name is Stefan. If we haven't met before, I am a 24-year-old South African entrepreneur. I actually struggle to say that right now. Let me just start over. We can get to know each other. Maybe drink a cup of coffee. This is going into the bloopers. Okay.